Rule number 8, never ever let your wife, girlfriend, sister, mother, whatever, significant other, anybody who's a female drive the red key. Just don't do it. Listen, I understand it sounds sexist, but the simple fact of the matter is these are big, heavy cars, and this thing puts out a hell of a lot of torque. If it's difficult for somebody like me to control, and I bench press 315 pounds easily, this is definitely something that you need to be careful with. This is not a simple all-wheel drive Jeep. This is not a simple all-wheel drive car. This is not a simple rear-wheel drive car. This thing will kill you the moment you don't respect it. I don't let my girlfriends drive certain cars. Like, she can handle the Jeep SRT. That's no problem. But my 300, I feel safe for driving that in the snow and the ice. That's the reason why that's my car of choice. If you care about the women in your life, don't let them use that red key, because unless you go out to like a private track or something, you don't want them getting killed out on that track. I'm telling you, these cars are extremely powerful. And if you slip up, it's going to be disaster. So just don't do it, please. Rule number 9, do not race old guys. These people are retirees. They're collecting Social Security checks. And since they couldn't afford these cars when they were younger, now they've got nothing to do but sit back and pour money into their projects, quote unquote. These guys, some of them have actually worked for these car companies, and they understand the HELLCAT, and they understand anything you're driving better than you understand it. If you see one of these guys pull up to you and you can hear their engine when your windows are closed and your music is up, please don't race these guys, because you never know if somebody's around with a camera and they're going to record this and you're going to end up on YouTube and I'm going to get embarrassed. And I just don't need that. I'm sick and tired of the losing. If you see first of all, you're not supposed to be street racing. Second of all, if you see like one of these old guys pull up to you, they've already scoped out your car, so they know what you got. Most likely they're sitting in some kind of old Chevy Snail Blazer, or at least you think it's slow, and they've got like drag radials on their car. Please, please, please. There have been so many car accidents with these people driving these crappy Corvettes, and these things are so light, and they slam them into trees, and these old guys crashing cars into lakes, Bugatti Veyron Super. I mean, please, please, do not race these old guys. I'm telling you, you're scrounging up your money and you have to choose between making your rent payments, your cable payments, and feeding your kids. These old guys are sitting back, collecting their capital gains, collecting their Social Security. They've got nothing to do but sit at home and work on cars. They read the magazines. They're looking at the HELLCAT and laughing. They're like, hey, they got 707 horsepower. Well, guess what? I'm running about 2,050. They're running methanol and ethanol and spray injectors and NOS and all that. These guys got nothing more to do except work on their cars while they're waiting to die. And then, on a side note, these are the same guys who, when you go to the car shows, they pull up with a trunk full of awards. And they're pulling out all these awards out of their trunk. And you see awards going back to 1962 for racing people and winning. If you race an old guy, you think he's slow, but I'm telling you, the proliferation of Cialis and Viagra has put these old people out of the homes and back on the streets. These guys are not messing around. They've got stuff under their hood that would scare the hell out of you. And I'm telling you, just don't do it to yourself. Please, please, please. We don't need any more videos of SRTs losing because the person who's driving them just didn't know what they were up against. I'm not telling you, because some people like to take this out of context, I'm not telling you that you can't race these people. I'm just saying, if you're not used to racing, please, please, just don't pick on people in traffic, especially if the guy's old, because these guys, they've got nothing to do but build their cars. I'm telling you, you're setting yourself up for, at the best case scenario, a loss. At the worst case scenario, a car accident. Please, please, please don't race these old guys. In a slightly related issue, I noticed that there's a website called redneckrealitycheck.com, and they featured my 7 rules for HELLCAT Challenger owners. And I also kind of think it's really funny that a lot of people who don't know anything about me online call me a redneck. Some people call me a Guido because I have a bit of a New York accent, but I always find that funny. I wasn't exactly sure what my final rule would be, but I'm pretty sure that this one covers most of the problems that I've had up until now. SRT needs all-wheel drive. I personally love driving my 300 more than I like driving the Jeep. I like the way the car looks. I like the way it's low to the ground. I like the way the car handles. Unfortunately, when ice and snow hit, you've got no choice but to switch over to a four-wheel drive vehicle. The Jeep is an extreme performer simply because it's a powerful engine hooked up to all-wheel drive. The Jeep tuned is way faster than a Nissan GTR stock. Now, a Nissan GTR tuned is way faster than a Jeep stock, like say one of those AMS Alpha Omegas or whatever. And when you look into the world of high-performance supercars, what you're noticing is everything's all-wheel drive, computer-controlled torque vectoring, and a shitload of power, as I call it. We need all-wheel drive. The HELLCAT with an all-wheel drive unit would be incredible. As it is, it's a great muscle car, but the problem is this car without all-wheel drive will sit and spin. And as everybody who's a professional racer knows, spinning ain't winning. We need all-wheel drive. I've talked to Ralph Giles on Twitter, and I've asked him about whether or not we'd ever see an all-wheel drive anything. This would be a better time than ever to consider an all-wheel drive 6.4-liter Hemi and a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi. This would be a better time than ever. I would love to be able to build a car like the one that I saw on Facebook where a guy had a HELLCAT hood installed into his 300. He doesn't have the supercharger, which I told him he really needs to get. I had planned it the other way. I wanted to do a supercharger first and then put the exterior model on. And if I see a hood like this, I definitely buy it. But we need all-wheel drive. Without all-wheel drive, yeah, the cars are pretty powerful. They handle pretty well. But if you really want to be able to take down just about anybody from in a quarter mile, if we had a really good all-wheel drive unit with everything else that the HELLCAT has, an all-wheel drive unit would allow us to destroy most of the other cars off the light right away. And that's the thing that SRT is missing. They make big, spacious cars that attract big, tall guys like me, football players, Shaq, blah, blah, blah. But what we really need more than anything is a car that can get us through snow, ice, and then still show up to a drag racing strip, take down somebody, and then leave the drag racing strip, get back on the snow and ice, and drive home without having to worry about crashing. That's what we need more than anything. SRT needs all-wheel drive. I just crossed 8 million views. My goal is 10 million views and 10,000 subscribers. Eventually, I'm going to get it. I'm not sure what cars I want to drive and review next, but this right here has been probably one of the bigger videos that I've done, and I'm really proud of the progress that I'm making so far. I'm making over $800 a month on YouTube. This month, over 1,000. I mean, YouTube is awesome. And anybody who has any niches or skills whatsoever needs to get into it. So that's it for this video. I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh, this video is too long. I had to turn it off in the first 5 minutes. I couldn't take it no more. Whatever. But I'm celebrating over here. I'm going to pop the champagne. And you can get back in your Prius. You could drive to work. I'm off right now. I'm on vacation. So, have a great time at work, dudes.